So, Mama Hills Help. How did that all come to be? How did that start?
Long story, but we'll make it short.
Okay.
All right. I retired from teaching and in 1999, and I was in the process of purchasing a home, renting a home with option to buy on the other side of town.
Okay.
This gentleman took all of my down payment and then evicted me. And so I was homeless for a moment there. And however, since I had good credit, I was able to try to buy another home.
Right.
A lady said, I can get you a house. It's going to be in Watts. I said, Watts? I don't want to go out there anymore. I used to teach out here. And so actually, she said, no, I have a beautiful home for you out there. I didn't have my down payment, couldn't get it back. There was $6,000. So the person who was selling the home put my down payment in for me for this house.
Really?
Yes, and that's
just a generous offer?
Yes, a gift. He
Wow.
said it was a gift. So, well, I'm prayerful, so it was all a miracle was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
So I came here kicking and screaming because I wanted to be in that other house over there. But when I got here, after I settled in, I said, this is a kind of nice house. I like this house.
Yeah.
And then the neighbors started coming by because they heard I was a teacher. And one little lady named Mrs. Germany with a little wig on that was crooked.
Yeah.
She said, can you help Lonnie? Lonnie's my granddaughter and she's 3 grades behind. Can you help her get her grades up? I said, sure, I'll help her. And she brought Lonnie kicking and screaming because Lonnie wanted to stay outside and play. All of the children in the neighborhood followed her.
Wow.
I looked up and I had all these children in the house and I was tutoring them.
Was that overwhelming?
No. It's usually what I do.
Sure.
So
right.
it was just fun. I just thought I was retired, and suddenly these children were all sitting in my living room, and I had to feed them, and I had to teach them. And actually, I did bring everybody's grades up. And then the word spread, and then it grew and grew and grew.
Wow.
And that's basically how Mama Hills Help started. One of my mentees, Florence, named it Mama Hills Help. She said, it should be Mama Hills Help. Students have always called me Mama.
Right.
So she said, just put Mama Hills Help, and that's the name. And then she got me hired as an educational consultant for Unity 2, which was a city program for gang intervention.
Okay.
Because she had those connections to do that. She wrote beautiful grants. So then I had a little small amount of income coming in, and more children coming. Now I had the children who were in the gangs coming because they needed to have help with their reading. So it grew and it grew by just word of mouth, actually.
Just an endless flow of children.
Yes, an endless flow of children in this little house. And it was a good feeling, and sometimes I was stressed out, but I really did enjoy it because I'm not the person who really retires anyway.
Sure.
Yeah, so I had a little rest for a moment.
Right.
Yes.
And then got your energy up.
Yep, and here they come.
Right.
So they've all been here, and I haven't stopped since then, actually, since that day. And that was in 2000 to 2001, I'd say, somewhere in there.
Would you have it any other way?
Nope, no, it was divine order. That's
Right.
my favorite word,
Divine order.
Yes,
I like that.
It was supposed to happen. I was supposed to be here, kicking and screaming though I came. I was supposed to be here, and this is what my mission was.
So take us through a normal day here at Mama Hills.
At 3:30, they're allowed to come inside. They can get their snack, whatever that might be. They can do their homework until, on Tuesdays they have class at 4 o'clock. So they can do their homework until that time. We exchange pleasantries, we talk. I see how the day went for them. We all do, because there are I see my volunteers are down there also. We all talk to them, see what they need for the day. And then at 4 o'clock, class begins. We have a moment of silence, and then we have a quote. And this is the time when we teach them extemporaneous speaking. And they have to speak right off the top of their heads as to what the quote means. So that's analytical thinking. And then there are 2 discussion points. After that, we have the announcements. We have a time called Random Acts of Kindness, when you tell something that you did that was nice for someone, just automatically because you could do it.
Sure.
Yes, and with no reward. So we do that, and we have our announcements and the Optimist Creed, and then we're over, and they can do their homework or have help afterwards. We adjourn the meeting. Then we have an anger management session, but I usually conduct that basically just by listening to them.
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't, it's not structured. I just hear them and I ask questions and then we diffuse the anger.
Sure.
Yeah.
This is the day after Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard you actually used to protest with him.
Yes, I was in the movement in 1959, I believe, and I was at Fisk University. Dr. King came to our school in the middle of the night. It was night because they had threatened to bomb the school if he came. So he had to come through some secret way to get there, and we met in the gym.
That's incredible.
Yes,
and he still came.
Yes, he came.
That's amazing.
Oh, yes, he came because he was speaking about the movement all through the South. He was coming to the South. And I remember that he spoke to us, and he said that this was going to be our job because we were the future, and we had to take care of what had to be done, and that he was expecting us to help. They had to actually, curse us out and call us and, try to hit us and everything so that we could be prepared because it's it's like combat.
Yeah.
Yes. So I remember that, and I remember the training. I remember being told that if you cannot be peaceful, don't participate because you'll mess us up. In essence, we can't have anyone who's going to get out there and show out, and so we had to. If you're going to do it, you're going to do it right. So that much I remember. Yes.
Do you feel, in hindsight, that a lot of that training and you being a part of that movement kind of prepared you for what you're doing now?
Oh, most definitely. I think that was my greatest lesson at Fisk University. I think that learning how to have control, to be insulted, to be quiet and peaceful when you were in combat, I think that's a great lesson.
Are these lessons that you have also incorporated into teaching your children?
Oh, most definitely. In fact, before I even opened this particular facility, I had a museum in honor of Dr. King at Crenshaw High School for 18 years. Yes, we had memorabilia in there. The children were the ones who designed it and built it, and we had actual meetings and we talked about nonviolence. And people from all over the country sent us memorabilia for Dr. King's museum. That was an impact on my life. And I realized the power that you have when you are calm and when you are peaceful and when you can look someone in the eye. I got that. I understood that from the movement. And I saw also the unity of human beings all working together. Yeah. And don't forget, there were people of African American descent, we had Jewish people, we had just European or Caucasian people, we had all of those people all standing together for a cause, yes. And that's what made the movement so very powerful because it was just a uniting of people.
What are some of the techniques you use to keep kids from dropping out?
Basically, I check on them at school and they have a support system.
To make sure they're in school?
Yes, and that I'm their advocate, and because sometimes they don't get the attention that they should get. It's not always, but sometimes if they know that someone's backing them up, they feel confident.
Right.
So that's one of the things I do. Also, I bring up their confidence so that they know that they're smart and that they don't have to decide that they're not smart. You can decide you're not smart and you won't be smart. That's exactly how that works, yes. So I bring up their confidence, I teach them I expect a lot from them, and I teach them to articulate well and to read between the lines.
And how do the things that you teach here at Mama Hill's Help differentiate from what you taught in public school?
Oh, I did the same thing in public school. I met a lot of opposition from various and sundry people. I met a lot of opposition because I have a different method. I let the children lead the class. I don't lead the class. I get in the back and I let them lead the class because then they can be responsible. And I take the worst little kid in there, the one that's going to be the class clown, that's going to disrupt everything, and I put him in a leadership position so that he has to run the class, or she, because there are some she's.
Right.
Yes. And I make sure that those individuals are busy leading the class. For instance, if we have reading, they will call on the people to read.
Yeah.
So then they have to be quiet and be concentrate on what they're doing. So they don't have time to disrupt the class.
Interesting. What would you say is the next step getting into that right direction?
Well, first of all, we've got to make the teachers feel more empowered and back them up and tell them you're important too. We like you too.
Right,
And
we need you.
Yeah, we need you and we like you and you're smart and you're going to be okay. And you don't have to take any crap,
Right.
basically. And I say that exactly the right way because if you have a sense of authority and you don't apologize for your existence, people don't bother you. It's a basic thing, and we've seen that for years. If you look people in the eye and speak, and some of the children sometimes are very sweet, and some of them are very intimidating because they've been through things. So we've got to work on that, on having a common ground for what you want to learn. You have to be able, I always tell them, I'm your servant. I'm here to teach you, and that's my job, and I'm your servant. But if you want what I have, you're going to have to pay attention.
You have to pursue it.
Exactly.
Which do you find is more important that we should focus on first? Controlling gangs, teenage pregnancy, things of that nature? Or do we need to go right to the source and focus on education first?
We need to heal the child first. We need to say, who hurt you? What's wrong with you? How can I help you get what you need? That's what we need to do. We need to heal them. I always say, no child comes into this world with beady eyes and a gun.
Right.
When they come here, there's no gun in their hands. Their eyes are soft and beautiful. They reach out to hug you. What the heck happens? So we need to find out what the pain is first. We've got to deal with the pain before we can even ask them to pick up a book or a pencil. So you know my key word is love on that. Love and respect. If you respect human beings, they finally get it and they respect you back. That's even for pets and dogs. That's for everybody.
Right.
Yeah, you cannot be mean and expect to get something from it.
Right.
And we need to help the parents too, because they've been through something too. So we've got to also, we say we treat the whole family and the whole community. So we've got to also give them the love they need and the strength they need to make it.
It takes a village.
Yes, it does. And a hug is a very important thing. I have to hug everybody.
Well, you're just, you're an amazing beacon of hope and an inspiration to everybody.
Oh, I hope so. That'll work.
And thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Were you inspired by Mama Hill? Learn how to become a changemaker yourself at takepart.com/toolkit. Check it out.